Well, I bought the family a new ride. This Ford Excursion with a 6.0 Powerstroke Diesel, knowing full well that it has a 6.0 Powerstroke Diesel. What's the worst that could happen? And there it is. Now this is my second 6.0, so I have a little bit of experience, but not a whole heck of a lot. One thing this one does have is a leak right here, but this video is going to do more than address that leak. The reason I bought this truck is because it's only got 132,000 original miles, and the interior is immaculate. And you say, well, that's still not enough reason to buy a 6.0. Well, rumor has it that the previous owner has also gotten rid of the EGR, but it is still sitting on stock Ford head bolts. So I want to give a special shout out to my cousin Cliff and a dozen or so 6.0 Powerstroke forums that I've read leading up to this moment. But I'm going to give you 3 things you can do to keep your 6.0 alive, and then add a 4th item that's a bonus, which is what we're going to start with today, which is the blue spring upgrade. That leak I pointed out earlier is right there where the blue spring goes, so why not show you how I do that? The 3 things we're going to do to keep it alive are change the oil over to full synthetic T6. We're going to flush this coolant system and switch it over to the Caterpillar REV ELC. And then we're going to install an Edge monitoring system so we can keep an eye on engine oil temperature and engine coolant temperature. As I understand it, the delta between those two cannot exceed 20 degrees. So, and someone, if I'm wrong about that, someone drop a comment below and let me know what the actual spread needs to be. But without further ado, let's get to work, and y'all join me for this adventure. Oh yeah, and we're going to take this truck on a journey of over 1,000 miles right after I do all this. Get you a trusty 5-gallon bucket. Yes, for this first part, you'll have to drain some coolant. It's not that bad on these. We're gonna do a coolant swap anyway. So, right, let's just do it. There's your drain valve right there. Petcock, whatever they call that. Sits on the driver's side. Slide your bucket over, get it positioned so we can catch that coolant. Sometimes these will twist off by hand. I don't think this one will. Also, somebody help me out here. Did Ford get smart and put a transmission fluid filter in line here? Because this looks like it's going to my transmission coolant lines. That would be cool, because my Allison 1000's got a spin on. I'm wondering if that's what this is. I'm gonna have to do some research, but y'all drop me a comment. To help that coolant drain, it helps to loosen the degas bottle cap. And while you're here, take a look at the top of it and see if it's convex, i.e. the top is bumped out. If you can look at this one, you can see it's pretty darn straight. So I don't think this one's endured a lot of pressure, which means they got to it in time. All right, there's our trusty 3/4. I got my little helper with me today. She's not so little anymore, though, are you, baby girl? Nope. All right, let's see if 3/4 is the right size. So if this is, we'll loosen this guy and let some coolant drain down.
Don't get any coolant on your hand. It would be disgusting.
Would be. Oh, it opened on the first try.
Ooh.
That's good, because that means we're not going to strip it out. And then we just open this bad boy up.
Does strip it out mean like you're just gonna pull it out? Oh, there it goes.
Yep, it's gonna strip it out's bad. That means Daddy has to replace the radiator. We don't want to do that. These are super expensive.
It'll be like.
Yep.
And if it slipped out of your hand, you wouldn't be able to find it.
That's right. The other thing too is when we drain this coolant out, we can check it for contaminants and see if it's got junk in it.
It looks yellow like tea.
I believe this is the Ford Gold. All right, we're looking at this coolant. I don't see a whole heck of a lot in there. That's down to the bottom of the barrel. I mean, we'll pour it out and we'll take a look at it. Of course, don't forget when you do pour this stuff out, make sure that you put it in bottles that you can take in for proper disposal. We'll just dump it somewhere. They don't make this blue spring easy to get to, so you got to remove a few things. First thing is this this hose off top of your degas bottle. Got to remove that. Get that out of the way. And then there's a flat blade right there for tightening up your air boot. and you got to take your airflow sensor plug off. That just clips to the dipstick, so we can get that out of our way. And then there's another connection here you got to remove. And this one's been swapped over to the air raid system, so I got to look around and see if there's any bolts. I don't see anything. So I should be able to remove it by just taking this boot loose. So let's get us a good old flat blade. There we go. We'll just have to wrestle with this for a minute and get it out. Turns out it wasn't just as easy as wrestling with it. For a minute, I bet you there are some bolts under this air raid box. But if you don't have an air raid, you ain't got to worry about this. So I'll come back when I got this off. Okay, with the air raid box out of the way, we can see inside. Look at our turbo. See how she looks down in there. She looks pretty good. We'll check her, make sure she spins freely. All right, these I found to be 11 millimeter. You probably could go with standard size, but you got one down here you've got to remove and one right here. Let's get this pipe out of your way. Something to note is you don't have to completely remove it. Just kind of wiggle it loose and it'll rotate and just get out of your way. Now you can more clearly see where we're going to be working. We still got this radiator hose in our way, but we drained the coolant, so we're going to be good. I went ahead and stuffed some rags down in where the radiator hose goes because I don't want to drop trash down in there, and I'm going to clean this off with some brake clean. All right, now we get it nice and clean. I'll go ahead and loosen this guy right here, this fuel fitting. Yes, I'm using an adjustable wrench. It's fine. I'm sure some of you will resent me for that. I'm sorry in advance. All right, crack this, and as I take it apart, I'm going to make note of everything I see. So right there, I see an O-ring. So I know I got to put an O-ring back in there. And then these Allens are all that separate me from getting the blue spring kit done. By the way, here's my blue spring kit. I got it off of Prime. I'll put a link down below in the video description. We'll put links to everything I put in this truck, including the Edge tuner. But I want you to notice, it's a Ford part. So even though it came from Amazon, it's a legit Ford part. There's your part number if you want to pause the video and take a snapshot. And they're not Allen wrenches, they're star bits specifically. What was the size on here? I don't know. I'll find out for you. Get that right. Ooh, here we go. Crack these puppies open. And I'm not going to take them off all the way because I'm not exactly sure how this is assembled internally, and I want to get it right when I put it back together so the truck will actually run. Okay, so it's all the way loose. So I'm gonna hold my hand under the bottom here, gently pull away, and there is what we're looking at. So this is the part that's leaking right here. You can see it's flattened right there. So we're leaking diesel right around in here. And the spring we're replacing is this one right here. I'm gonna pull this out gently. And you can see it's extremely rusty, because it's also where the fuel water separator is, and there's a ring right there, a gasket right there. So I'm assuming the kit, the new one's going to come with a new plunger, but assuming has gotten me in trouble before, so I don't want to lose that. So while I got it apart, I'm going to clean all my surfaces so my new O-ring will sit good. Make sure I get no dirt in there. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of the way. I don't want to leave any dirt to get in the injectors. Whoa, did you see that? That fell out too. And I don't know if the kit comes with a new one of those, so Careful, careful, careful. Okay, that surface is good and clean. And this old O-ring's got to come out, but we'll go ahead and clean this surface real good. There it goes. Oh yeah, sucker's flat and hard. All right, I'm gonna clean this up real quick. Get a bag inside of a bag. Okay. Look at that. It did come with a new plunger, so that's good. Came with a new one of these. And there's your new O-ring. Oh, it even came with a new cover. And there's the new gasket. And I'll be very careful because I'm about to lose something really important. Here's that new, don't ask me what that is. You Ford certified mechanics, can you tell us what that is right there? I don't know. And then we got a brand new cover, new screws. Look at this. A brand new machined aluminum cover. Brand new plunger. And here is the most important part, the blue spring. I know that the blue spring goes in here. All right, so it looks to be about the same. And now that I got this off, I can see where this O-ring here goes. It actually sits right in there. Our fuel line goes on that O-ring right there. Now the question is can I break this loose from this aluminum body here? I don't know. Part of me thinks I should just put the old one back on and then save this for a spare part. I think that's what we'll do. So let's install our new gasket. Push it down in the little detents. And since we brake clean this, it's nice and clean inside. And then we can't forget this little piece. Super, super important. So this little piece is the new one. And it goes right there. And then here is our new plunger, the new O-ring and the blue spring. Make sure that the blue spring goes in the hole. And make sure that piece stays put. Push this back in place. Start the screws. Now, I paid attention, so my green brand new O-ring is still there. So I want to bring this up, press it against this new O-ring, and then bring the nut up and tighten it up. That one's a 15/16. And I bet you're probably saying, no, it's a metric. Yeah, it is. But if it works, is it stupid? Or if it works, is it dumb? Make a tight fit. That looks like that hadn't been replaced in a while. By the way, the Motorcraft kit you're looking for is an FD 4616. There we go. I'm going to cycle the key and turn the fuel pump on several times to see if I see any diesel seepage before I put all those hoses and everything back on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the key off and button everything back up. So I got it all back together up here, as you can see. Air filter's back in. But I wanted to draw your attention to what kills the 6.0, or at least what I think does. This is the plug out of the bottom of the radiator. And for the ones who worked on 6.0s, I'm not teaching you anything. This is to teach me and the newbies who are looking at 6.0s. But if you look, you see it looks like sand, white stuff. Watch this. Just flakes off on my hand. That is the buildup of the additives or the cooling property stuff that's in suspension in the coolant. As the coolant breaks down, it comes loose. And it gets all these little specks of white stuff in your coolant system. And if you don't flush it, you don't clean it regularly, or you don't change it regularly, eventually enough of this stuff will separate that it will fill the channels of your oil cooler, clog it up, and so begins the demise of the 6.0. So my cousin's point is if the one who told me you should be able to make this engine run just fine without any mods, his point is use an ELC coolant, change it regularly, avoid this, and the oil cooler should work just fine. Anyway, I'm gonna put this back in, and then we're gonna fill it up with the distilled water flush. So that is your Caterpillar red ELC coolant. And then I've got 15 gallons of distilled water because I'm going to flush the system thrice with distilled water. And then after the third flush, I'm gonna fill it up with this stuff. And this is the part number. And from what I read online, this right here will save a 6.0. Okay, this start's going to take a while because if you recall, we were just in there and did the Blue Spring upgrade. We changed out that water separator filter, and so it's going to take it a few cranks, but she'll bust off here in just a second. Well, this guy has never been more wrong in his life. That just busted right off. I thought it'd take forever. What did I miss? All right, now it's time to fill it up with the Cat Red, and my beautiful assistant, AKA my better half, is here. And I learned something new the other day from what? No way. So thank you for that, brother. Donna, watch this. I didn't even know this. Was that a pretty good what? No way? You probably don't know what channel that is, do you?
No.
What? No way. Anyway, you take your radiator cap and you flip it over, and this actually opens it. I was like, So you press and you push. It works. What?
So shall we test the
No
which
way.
one's faster, the cap or the finger?
Well, probably the, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna open up some of these Cat Red ones and start filling it up. Item number 3, changing the oil out to Shell Rotella T6 15W40. My cousin, who has managed to keep 3 6.0s alive for years, said this is the game changer oil change for a 6.0 Powerstroke. Of course, we're going to keep the Motorcraft FL 2016 for our oil filter, and then we're going to switch the oil from organic out to this stuff. Should lead to a longer life. Let's get to it. And as I mentioned before, this cap on the oil filter is a 36 millimeter. Whoa. And that, my friends, is a 3/4 drive socket. One moment. There we go. This is the one we're after. And the new oil filter comes with a new O-ring, which we will replace on this cap. There's that spring, makes it pop up. We got this thing nice and hot from cycling all that coolant, so we should be able to, we're gonna have a little bit of smoke because I just dripped oil on the top of the engine. Oh well, there we go. And let's go ahead and push this brand new filter. It just kind of snaps onto the, see that spring? The filter snaps onto the cap, and then you replace that O-ring. Got to kind of push down and twist, and there she goes. We're gonna keep an eye on that O-ring as we tighten it down. Make sure that we don't pinch it and spring an oil leak. Looking good. We don't want to over tighten it. It's just plastic against metal. All right, there's your drain plug. Not too bad under here. A little bit of oil seep, but not a lot.
for a truck that's 20 years old. All right, so this oil is hot, so I have to be careful. I wouldn't advise you to do it while it's hot unless you are really quick. Get your hand out of the way fast. This sucker's gonna be boiling. All right, that is a 14 millimeter. And here we go. Emphasis on get the hand out of the way quick. Oof, well, I didn't quite get it loose. Here we go. Take two. There we go. All right, I'm gonna scoot myself back as far away as possible. I really don't want to lose the plug down in there. So, yeah. And get it. Ooh, that was satisfying. Still got my fingers. Ouch. That's okay though. While we got this thing out, I don't remember if these are magnetized or not. Yes, they are. So I want to look for metal on the end here. See how bad it is. Got some oil. I got a little bit of gray on there, a little gray matter. Nothing crazy though. Just a little bit. This engine has 132,000 miles on it, so if they kept the oil changed, and I hope and pray they did, shouldn't be bad. Here's the tip of the thing, drain plug. Try to see if I can get some of this off of here and show you. Not that much on there really, and certainly nothing that's sharp in my fingers. That's a good sign. This engine has a lot of oil. I believe it is a 16 quart engine. It's been a minute since I've changed one of these, so I'm going to double check, but I think it's 16 quarts. Let this drip. Come back when she's done. All right, she's a dripping. So we're going to get this cleaned off and put that drain plug back in and make sure she's good and tight, but don't cross thread her. Don't over tighten her. So we're going to put it in and we're going to start it by hand. Spin her all the way up by hand. That way we know we're not messing up our threads. And tighten her down. Not too tight. We don't want to strip it out. Something I'm a die-hard believer in after my last 6.0 is this stuff. REV X, high performance oil additive. It really did, not that this one has stiction issues, but this stuff really helps if you do have any stiction. So, and for heavy diesel, 12 ounces, for medium diesel, 8 ounces. So I think this is an 8 ounce little jar. No, it's a 4 ounce. Yeah, I'm just gonna put 4 ounces this time since I don't have a whole lot of problems. But get you some REV X. I'm telling you, it helped my last 6.0. Y'all take a look at this. It's now bright red. So we're just going to wait for this to get hot again and top it off, drain a little bit out. I may go back with a gallon of concentrate after this, just because some of the dilution from the distilled water being in the heater core, just to get the oil protection back up. Look at all that old oil. Woo! Okay, we've done everything we can mechanically at this point. Now it's time to look at some technological ways that we can save this 6.0. So one of the things I've been told is that you want to keep an eye on your engine oil temperature versus engine coolant temperature, and that the delta on those two cannot exceed 20 degrees. So bought this Edge tuner. Let's get it busted open and see what that's all about. Ooh, nice box. Got some tire tracks. I'm betting that's an owner's manual. Ooh, stickers. I like stickers. Quick install guide. Stop. Don't return it to the dealer. Okay. All right. I won't do that. Ooh, there it is. So pretty. What else you got in here? Foam. Great. Ah, cables. So this must be the OBD2 plug. HDMI, yep. That must be the, yep, HDMI adapter or updater. Zip ties. This has got to be the suction cup. Yep. There's our suction cup. I remembered something. If you've never had one of these, you don't know where your OBD2 port is. So that's right here. There's your gas pedal or diesel pedal. And then it's right there. So this part right here plugs in right there, just like that. All right, we're starting from scratch. I have not turned this thing on yet. So it's plugged in, the cable's routed around down here to the OBD2. It doesn't appear there's gonna be too much of an interference with my acceleration. Let's go ahead and start the rig and see what happens. Well, suffice it to say, it is the next day, and I ran out of daylight yesterday. Scratching my head, could not figure out how to get this thing to read PIDs for the, you know, the engine on this thing. So I got to thinking, I said, wait a minute, if it's plugged into the OBD2 and I had to run a power cord to the bottom of it, that doesn't seem like the last Edge tuner I owned. So I thought, maybe it doesn't need external power. Maybe there's something wrong with the OBD2. So, wouldn't you know it, beginner's luck. Fuse for the OBD2 is the same one that goes to the cigarette lighter or the 12-volt outlet, and it was blown. So we'll pop a fuse in here and then see if we can get this thing to work and actually read PIDs off this engine. Uno momento. The location of the fuse is under the dash. There's the e-brake. There's a fuse box right here, and you can see I've already got the busted fuse removed. So this top relay right here, count 1, 2, 3 down from the top. I think it works out to slot number 12, fuse 12, yeah. So it's fuse 10, 11, 12. Fuse 12, if that's blown, the OBD2 doesn't read. So I didn't have a 20 amp, which is what came out of there. So I'm just popping a 15 amp in there for now to see if this Edge tuner even comes on. So fingers crossed. Holy cow, y'all. Look at that. Now, is it supposed to be on with the truck turned off? I don't know, but let's start the truck. So yeah, I just started the truck. All right, so let's go to gauges and logging. Now it's pulling a PID list from the vehicle, so that's a good sign. Went through the update last night before the mosquito population drove me out of the truck. Well, that, and I had to go to work this morning. Have you updated? Yes, I have. By the way, I didn't develop any leaks overnight, so that's a good sign. Alright. Alright. You ready, bud? Alright, so I've got to get out of here and go take my son to Ninja. He is really good, by the way. And we'll come back. But it looks like it's now reading engine speeds, battery voltage,
Yeah, it's reading a lot of things. There's engine oil temperature and engine coolant temperature. So it wasn't reading it last night, it's reading it now. I'll be blessed. So let's see, that's saying roughly 670 RPM. Let's see if that's close. Yeah, that's close. Honey, we got a working edge. My wife just joined me. All right, so I'm gonna continue this video here in just a little bit. So it'll be a second on this video, but a couple hours from now I'll be back from Ninja. So I figured the easiest way to do this test would just be to go drive it. So this is idling, and this is where we're sitting at right now. This is the spread. So what is that, 5 and 6, 11. So we're not close to 20 yet. We're gonna take it for a spin and see what happens. So let's go. All right, we've driven in a total of about 5 miles. And look at the spread, EOT 180, ECT 178. So that's, now they're right on. So we gotta get it to freeway speed temperature, but I believe our oil cooler is not clogged. So that's a good sign, folks. More testing to go, but it's looking good. So now we've got a round trip of about an hour and a half, 2 hours at freeway speeds. So I'm gonna get this thing all the way up to temp on freeway. It's raining outside, so it's a little bit of a cooling advantage, but once I get out on the main highway here, you get it about 70 miles an hour and run it that way for, you know, better part of an hour and see what happens to the engine coolant temperature and the engine oil temperature. But right now, folks, I'm going to say I'm 90% certain, 95% certain that this oil cooler is not clogged, and that I should be able to maintain this 6.0 with the plan I have in place, which is, you know, using the regular synthetic oil changes, the red cat coolant, and you know, I'm going to probably go ahead and install, I've been doing some more reading, I'm probably going to go ahead and install one of those Sinister Diesel coolant filtration systems, but y'all, I really believe I can make this engine last. So maybe I'll give an update video in 6 months, who knows. But with that being said, I really do thank you for your time. I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you have a 6.0, chime in. If you don't, chime in. If you hate them, chime in. Heck, I don't care. Let's just make it one big happy family on here. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you got something good out of this video. And subscribe if you haven't yet. We'd love to have you here on Grub and Gas. God bless. Talk to you later.